As a phytopathologist, often working with tomatoes, I actually know surprisingly little about how to grow a good tomato. I do come from a family line of tomato growers. My grandfather, seen in this picture, he was actually a tomato grower. This was probably in the 60s. Dog walking by, bunch of baskets full of tomatoes, one of his buddies smoking a cigarette. For sure, this was a very different era of growing tomatoes and of breeding tomatoes. No molecular markers, no global virus alerts, no high throughput sequencing. And hygiene, well, let's just say things were a bit different back then as well. I have this weird fascination about all these diseases that you as a grower might have nightmares about. Viruses, for instance, I find them endlessly fascinating. Tospoviruses like tomato spotted wilt virus. And it's get vectored by these tiny, minute little insects called thrips. We got ToLCV, a Gemini virus that gets vectored by whitefly. And we got viruses like ToBRFV that get vectored by basically everything, including us, humans. And because it's a mechanically transmitted virus, it's extremely prone to spread in the greenhouse once your hygiene protocol is not in order. Let's chat with Sergio to see what is the relevance of hygiene if you've got HREZ in place. So Sergio, growers pay a price for our seeds. They might pay a bit more even for the HREZ genetics. Why would they also still need to invest in all their hygiene measures? Why is that still relevant if you actually protect your crop with HREZ?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So our HREZ gene gives high resistance to ToBRFV, but it's not an immunity. In immunity, a virus cannot enter and multiply in the plant, but in this case it can locally, and it is stopped actively by the high-res resistance mechanism. But that means it needs to invest energy and it needs a good environment to be able to withstand the virus.
And what happens with the virus, or the viral population, if you will, if the virus keeps getting reintroduced because of poor hygiene in the crop?
Then you pose a significant challenge to the resistance. There's a limitation to any resistance, any high resistance, as well as for the HREZ gene. Resistance works very well, but you need a good hygiene circumstance to be able to perform well. Immunity against this virus does not exist in tomato, but we have HREZ providing high resistance. But in order to get the best out of this resistance, this high resistance, we need hygiene.
So we discussed hygiene from a phytopathology perspective with Sergio, but what does it look like from a grower's perspective? Well, the best way to show this is here at the Innovation Center in Pijnacker. I feel like a spaceman.
Yeah, well suited up.
Well suited up. We're in Demokas, Pijnacker. Took quite some effort suiting up. Can you tell us a little bit about the hygiene protocol that you adhere to here in Pijnacker?
Yeah, we have a strict hygiene routine. So clean tools, clean hands, and a controlled movement between compartments.
We're surrounded by HREZ varieties, I'm assuming. It has resistance against ToBRFV. Why still bother with all these complicated hygiene steps?
Well, these steps keeps the virus pressure low and helps HREZ to perform at its best.
So can you say something about what specific steps growers can take to avoid the spread of the virus in the greenhouse?
Well, growers don't need complicated systems, but they just need consistent habits.
Small habits make a big difference. Clean hands, clean tools, movement between compartments, it all has an impact on the potential spread of the virus. HREZ takes care of the virus inside the plant, but your hygiene protocol takes care of the virus outside of the plant. Looking back 50 years ago when my grandfather was growing tomato, and right now how we grow tomatoes, completely different world. But some things do stay the same. At Enzazada we're a family business. We generally think in generations, not in quality figures. And that means we have this cornerstone in our philosophy, trust. Trust in our genetics, the varieties that we sell, but also the resistance, like HREZ. Trust in our people, the more than 3,000 people that work at Enzazada, but definitely also trust that we build in the relationships with our customers, you guys. I truly hope that this series, this myth-busting series, these episodes, helped in gaining a bit of trust in the Enza, varieties and the genetics. If there are any questions that pop up, please reach out to your sales rep and they'll connect you with people in R&D, for instance. Till the next one.